Good evening, everyone, and hello again. We are back after a week off of most of the cast being ill. I am recovering from a chest infection, so if my voice goes at any point tonight, then I apologise, but we are all getting there. We have missed you, or more ultimately, I have definitely missed playing D&D. I was a very, very depressed DM last week, not being able to play at all, not being able to do much, but listening back to the podcast and watching some of the videos, very, very much missed seeing everybody here and playing this game because it's a lot of fun. So before we get into all that craziness and back into the Tomb of the Forgotten King, let's run down our usual thank you, shout outs, and a few announcements. The first announcement tonight is that unfortunately our guest star schedules didn't work, so Paul can't be with us this week and probably won't be with us for the foreseeable future until we can sort of reschedule them back in. So I will be playing Paul's character tonight. However, we do have Samal back, so we're going to work that into the narrative. So that'll be a nice surprise for everybody to see Samal back in his seat. Welcome back to the stream. But yes, down the usual shout outs, down the usual thank you. So shout out and thank you to Incarnate, Owlbear Radio and Dungeon Alchemist for all things virtual tabletop and mapping. A big shout out to Hero Forge for the character visuals, some of which you will see, obviously for Dave's temporary character, who knows, and maybe Paul's character we might pop up again just to remind everybody what they look like. Of course, there are the DM's tools I use in the background, so a huge thank you to Kassoon, 5e Magic Shop, 2 Minutes Tools, the Thieves Guild, and World Anvil. Those tools just keep growing, and that list keeps growing. You can hear the musical track in the background. Some of those you will hear tonight are courtesy of Tabletop Audio, so thank you to them. But most of the musical tracks and the sound effects are courtesy of Battle Bards. As I said a couple of weeks ago, Battle Bards version 2.0 is out. So we've already given away 1 free month subscription. JK and I still need to work that out, and we will sort that out. But you can still go and use the code you see on screen as well to get yourself a nice little discount off any of the tracks if you're not subscribed. I'm still working with Battle Bards on how we go forward with that affiliate code and the potential 3 month subscriptions that we're going to do going forward. So stay tuned for that. And I think that's it in terms of shout outs and thank yous. Please go check out the social media channels. Obviously we put the updates about last week out on there. That's where you will get all of our updates for scheduling conflicts or issues, or just silly updates, clips, any of those things that are going on. I've been very, very lax on the homebrew pieces in Discord, so I apologise for that. But please do come and join us on the Discord server if you want to catch some of the Campaign 1 homebrews and find them, or jot down and discuss your Campaign 2 theories, or any spoilers. Come and do that. Share fan art. Come and support each other as well. It's very much our little family Discord server there. And it's also, I believe, reached community server status now, whatever the hell that means, which is good fun. So we hit a new milestone in Discord. I'll go figure out what that means. But there we go. And then there is the past episodes. So please go and check all of the past episodes from Campaign 1 and Campaign 2 and all our one-shots and mini-series. They are available both on YouTube and in podcast format as well on your podcast platform of choice. If you are listening to the podcast, please, please, please leave us a rating or review just to help grow that following and get that out there. Every little bit of support helps, and we appreciate everything you do in terms of support. Great to see some familiar names already back in the chat as I get my voice back there. So yes, I think that is it for the shout outs and thank yous. The last thing I need to do, I'm not going to do right now. I'm going to do when we go into the full stream. So I will pause on that for just a second. So my usual warnings do apply. There will be adult language and most certainly adult humour. You have been warned. Let's roll. Hey, yo.
Hello.
We are all back. It's very good to see everybody.
Indeed.
As I said, I very much miss this. Excuse me. Cool. So the last thing I was going to do, just on that, but I figured we'd all do here, is, of course, it is somebody's birthday this week. So do want to wish a very, very happy birthday to Dave for this week. Happy returns, my friends.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we were just talking pre-stream about, I know Samal and my family are potentially off to see the D&D movie. I think Dave's going to come join us as well, so that could be a bit of fun later in the week.
It certainly shall be.
Because it looks good. So no
Apparently
spoilers in the chat if you've
good.
already seen it. Apparently it's amazing, which is really cool.
Was it? What, am I wrong? Is it not like one of the first and only movies to ever get like 100% on Rotten Potatoes? Like
Rotten Potatoes?
Rotten Tomatoes, that one. But what I also did, Danny, was I created this fake website called Rotten Potatoes, and what I did is I then decided I was just going to randomly give it a rating. So
It's fine. It's the Irish Rotten Tomatoes. It's
yeah, the Irish website.
There's a racial stereotype in there somewhere.
It's fine.
It's okay because Carsus is Irish, isn't he? So he's
There you go.
It's good.
So-
It's good. It's fine.
That's how it works,
we have
right?
now got. Yeah. It's good. We've got our first clip for this episode as well, which is Rotten Potatoes. So there we go. Fantastic. Somebody timestamp that fucker. Oh, right. Before we descend into total madness. Rotten Potatoes. Fantastic. Yes, before we descend into total madness then, let's run down the lineup. So I am Matt. I am your Dungeon Master this evening. I am also playing Paul's character of Richard. And we'll be doing both the Henry Bot whatever and Cog. So yeah, there we go. Just a little bit for me to do tonight.
Hello, I'm Dave. I am playing Morlin Blue Moon, the cleric, along for this hilarious ride.
And I'm Danny, and I'll hopefully still be playing Lex by the end of this episode, your UNT sorcerer best friend.
I am Simao, and I'm playing Cassus Wispgut. And I'm very excited that someone else other than me is playing a cleric. So
I'm
good luck with
not.
that.
I'm really not. All right? I'm really not.
They're fun though.
Going by last week, yeah. Well, not last week, the week before.
Yeah. Well, he's a bit haphazard with his... well, he hasn't healed me yet, so I don't think...
Hasn't needed to, as far as I can see.
Well, not yet. Not yet.
Do we know what domain you're from?
No, I don't think they've figured that out yet.
Well, he's got to be
I
a
do.
light cleric if he's the
I
Everlight,
think.
isn't he? He's got to be the light cleric if he's the Everlight. That's my
That's
guess.
true. He could be a light cleric.
I'm trying to find it, but I'm not going to tell you.
I know what it is.
I know,
Do you want me to say, Dave?
Sure, go for it.
Yeah, Morland's a life cleric.
There we go.
Nice.
Life domain cleric. Life domain cleric of the Everlight, more specifically.
Very
Cool. So I suppose that really brings us round to the recap of the last episode, because it has been a little while. So there was the devil attack aboard the Ebon Mirth, which unfortunately felled Jewel. So the last session, Lex set out about finding some way to recover Jewel and bring them back into this existence. Jewel having been spared from dying totally, with a clutch move of a suggestion, sending a devil back into the ethereal plane to pull back Jewel's spirit. But Jewel was still unconscious, unresponsive. So Dis was casting Spare the Dying, the engineer of the Ebon Mirth, and was maintaining Jewel in this state of the between, if you like. Having landed in a Agruz very quickly, Vala guided Lex towards two temples within the western sector of Agruz, if you like, which were the Temple of the Sun, a temple devoted to the deity known in this part of Gildorn as Palor. And having had a quick discussion with some of the clerics or the priests there, Lex didn't get very far and realised that actually if they wanted to help, or if they could help, it would require a cost that they described as not even the richest would be willing to pay. Lex assumed this was some form of life for a life type deal, and so headed over to the Temple of the Everlight, known as the House of Prayer, where they met one high priestess. I want to say Amara because my brain's just dropped out of my arse. So give me just a second to pull that one up, because I'm pretty sure I'm right on that one. Where are we? Yes, High Priestess Amara, who spoke to you around the fact that, based on what you were saying, it sounds like the spirit had been returned to the body, but the soul was still somewhere else, and thus Jewel was not able to fully return just yet. They went and searched for a book, and in doing so sent one of their acolytes to look after you for a time, which is where Maul and Blue Moon came into the fray, and sort of sat with you, and you discovered this very slow, very particular Furbolg cleric. Amara then returned with the book to say, yes, there is a way, but it will require an artifact that is rumoured to lay in a tomb to the east of the city, which is where I fucked up last time. I said it was the west, which was basically in the ocean. So no, to the east of the city, in the dunes of the Gildornian desert, in a tomb of a forgotten king, and the only person supposedly who knew where that location of that was an individual that the clerics had dealt with in the weeks past for stealing certain items. Morland led Lex to that individual, which is where you met Richard, Paul's character, a very messy, chaotic, cluttered artificer, or artificer, however you want to say that, who had a small little spider bot named Henry, four-legged spider bot, and they explained that yes, they knew where the location of this tomb was. They also explained that they had a black market dealing in certain body parts, which was a bit bizarre. Having discussed all that, you made your way out of the city and headed across the dunes of the Gildornian desert. Travelled for a number of hours before Lex then spotted a strange shape amongst the dunes, and you found a tomb buried in the sand. You proceeded into the tomb, having figured out how to open the door through persistence. I managed to descend into the dungeon, the tomb, whatever you want to call it, and then started to look around to where things were. You headed left down this long corridor from the entranceway, having sort of come down a set of marble stairs, discovering a small statuette of the Raven Queen, or the Matron of Death, on the right-hand wall. You headed left and found turned right and found a long corridor which was about 20 foot wide, which was just filled with traps, which every one was sprung. No one tried to avoid them whatsoever. They just sprung all the traps.
Nailed it.
Made it through somehow. Nobody died, but made it through. And then reached the end of the corridor and turned right again and discovered that actually this corridor was empty and fairly devoid of traps or really anything of interest, bar these braziers that were lighting up as you continued to walk around this tomb. And so that is where we begin this week, but not in the tomb. And the crew deck of the Ebon Mirth, with one Carsis Wispcut, who has been ever so diligently guarding the body of Jewel, but also working on a few things in the background. Carsis, is there anything you would like to say about what you've been doing, or were we just going to leave that in the ether, in the background, about where it's been?
No, I think if someone was to watch what Carsus is doing, they have essentially taken into account the fact that that fight with the devils, one of the things that made it difficult was the fact that we didn't have information. That we tried to hit them with things that didn't quite work, things that they were able to absorb in some sort, or were able to, to basically like put away. And that sort of being not the first time that that's happened with enemies that the group specifically has fought. Kalsa starts writing in their spellbook certain things and just coming up with a way of breaking down those equations and breaking down that information that could be passed along to them. And yeah, that is what they've been doing, mostly focusing on that.
So you spend a number of hours doing this, and at some point there is then just a gentle sort of on the door.
Hello, come in.
The door opens and in steps Vala Zephyr, the ship's gunner. Tarsus, I thought I'd check and see how both you and Jewel were doing. Lex is on his way to, hopefully he's found who he needs to find and is doing something at least. The sword is dealt with, so yes, I figured I'd just come and see you.
Well, Jul's situation has not changed, but also no one seems to be able to do anything about it, apart from hopefully Lex. I am starting to. How long has Lex been gone, Matt?
Probably an hour or two at this point. Maybe more.
It doesn't fill me with confidence, the fact that he hasn't sent any sort of message back. As far as I was aware, he was only going to a temple, so...
No, but he was very, very focused on his task. I've never seen him so fervent, so urgent. The mask slipped somewhat in terms of that usual sense of calm and level-headedness.
It certainly did.
Are you sure you want to stay here?
Not really. I know that
I figured as much.
if something happens to Lex, he's lovely, but if someone even just blows at him, he'll probably just fly off.
Listen. We're docked. My duties are less important right now. So if you wish to head off, I will take your post. I will sit here with her and make sure nobody disturbs her apart from this. And let's just say if anybody does get on this ship and decides to try and attack her, well, they're going to get at least three bullet holes in their face before they can even try.
Yeah, you are quite handy with those. So I think I can...
Time and training.
I know something about that. Alright then. I'll try to keep you updated.
That's fine. Just find him, make sure he's okay. Get whatever you can to help this poor soul, and then let's make everything right again, shall we?
Absolutely. With that, I will move towards the plank. I'm assuming it's like a plank connecting to the dock.
Yep.
Cool.
So you head upstairs and then onto the gangplank.
Yeah, and as I reach the gangplank, I sort of just close my eyes and I allow myself to sort of give into something that I've also been thinking about since that encounter. How there has been something over the past 2 or 3 days that has been quite present in me, and I will just follow that.
Make me an Arcana check, please.
16.
16. You can feel a weight close to you. And you sort of push that to the side, seeking, searching, focusing on what you think is going on. And you feel that slight pull towards the east. And you begin to follow it. And follow what you do. Out through the gates of the city. Out into the desert. Just focusing, letting that weight, that knowledge itself just pull you in the right direction. And you wander off through the desert. And it takes you maybe an hour and a half to find the same area that Lex found, this strange shaped dune. And you can see where the sand itself has been disturbed and actually drawn back away. And even you realise this was magical. There's no way that somebody could have done this naturally, quickly. And you head to the door. And we are going to cut back to our friends inside the tomb.
Oh, yeah.
Hello there.
So you have been wandering through these halls. You have sprung the 4 traps inside. That's what I'm now going to call the Hall of Traps. And in fact, just for shits and giggles. There we go. We'll put that on the map. Revealed. Hall of Traps. You have walked across this northernmost corridor now, and you've come to where it narrows down to a 10-foot wide corridor. What would we like to do?
I think we were coming to the conclusion last week, not last week, week before, that we were kind of probably just going in a big square circle.
Mm-hmm. A big square circle.
A big square circle. Are we going to add that to the
I know
rock
what I
potatoes?
Yeah.
It makes sense what I said though, right?
Yeah, so did mine.
I said hall
Then they
of
call it
traps,
the
not
big-
hole of traps, you dirty buggers.
Oh
Whole
dear.
of tra- Oof.
Very good. So Morland, Lex, and Richard.
Okay, Morlin is going to carry on to round this corner that we've got here. And
Okay.
assuming that the previous slim corridor was... the last 2 were not trapped, he's awfully obliging to just wander in and be fine. They're fine. They're fine.
Don't
Very
you
good.
think we
So
should
Morland just wanders
probably check
straight in.
before you gun me entering through?
Well, the other two were absolutely fine.
Which, well, if we're going in a square, it makes logical sense that if two are fine, two are also trapped.
Well,
I'm not sure I follow on that logic.
Oh,
Yeah,
Sunil's not
thanks,
ready
Paul.
for that. I'm not. I'll be honest with you, Richard. I'm not sure you follow much logic in general.
Nah. Let's not be too rude. I got us here, didn't I?
Yeah.
I mean, you certainly did,
No,
but however, we did
yeah.
end up going through rather a number of traps, and you did just say you probably went the other way last time. However, let's carry on and hope that we're going to be okay.
You know.
By your lead, then, Mr. Cleric.
Oh, after, before me, after, whatever, carry on. Cool, so Morlin is... Oh, yeah, there we go, he can move. Gonna pop along.
For the best.
And down to there. Yeah, oops. No one can see that.
Very good. Sorry, I just realised
He's gone for it.
I spelled your name wrong. There we go. So, as you wander round and follow this corner, Richard's going to follow around with Henry as well and just sort of stand behind you. Lex, what are you doing?
I will tentatively wait on the edge.
Standing there like...
Okay, Morlin, as you step forward then, and this corridor opens out into a 20-foot wide corridor, you see these braziers yet again, and it's weird. The walls are lined with mirrors. So as you look into this corridor, it is almost like this endless reflection of both yourself, the lights, and the room around you. It is very, very bizarre.
Oh, well, only a vain man would make this.
And I would have loved it.
Like I said, a very vain man would like this. I don't necessarily see the trap in this, unless it is a psychological trap. Any ideas?
Would you like me to go and venture forward first?
Yeah, well, if you so choose. Do you like mirrors?
Well, I've made a few in my time.
By
it look
all
safe?
means.
Is it okay for me to come closer?
There's no traps in this corridor, Lex. You'll be fine.
I'm fine here, Lex.
Oh, God. Oh, nervously. Mirrors. That's odd. The only thing I would probably say is just make sure the reflection is actually your reflection. And it's not, alive.
Well, technically your reflection
What
isn't
else would my
alive,
reflection
surely.
be, if not for me?
It might be a trick, is what I'm saying. It may look like you, but it might be somebody mimicking you, and it might not actually. I feel like I'm flogging a dead horse here.
Richard, by all means.
Okay. Richard steps forward a few paces and just then begins to sort of look left and look right.
And gets vaporized by lasers.
And there's a moment where, as they're just looking around,
The Death
they
Star
just sort
noise.
of peer to the left, and they are drawn. Their gaze is just drawn into these mirrors, and Richard needs to make a intelligence saving throw.
Oh, good. That's going to go so well.
Fucking told you, Richard, you dick. No, ice
With
cool
my
dick.
brand new Wrathstrike dice, an intelligence saving throw for Richard is a 16.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Wallen's got a
Believe it or
negative
not,
1,
Richard's
so...
fairly intelligent. Richard stares into this and then... I think I'm tired. Mirrors are playing tricks on my mind. I'm going to continue forward. You can follow.
Maybe if you get to the other end, you can guide us with your voice, and we close our eyes so we're not affected by the whatever magic this is.
I think you'll be fine just walking down.
Morland turns to Lex. You said this was magic?
Well, he just nearly came under the influence of someone by the looks of him. But then again, he seems under the influence of something all the time. He's a very strange man.
Yes. That's interesting to know.
Maybe,
As Richard steps further forward, then, there is a moment where, again, he just sort of looks, and then... has to make another save. Fails it. And as a result, has to make a wisdom saving throw. Which is a 14. And Richard lets out this slight squeak and a yelp, just a... Yeah. Oh, wow. It's not nice being down here. These... This tune's playing tricks on my mind. Get down here, boys. Don't leave me alone.
What are you seeing, Richard?
I thought I saw some strange creatures, but it's just a trick of the light. You know, these things happen when you stare in the mirrors.
right, Morland, I've got a plan. We can get through this. If you hold on to my shoulder, I will hold on to Cog. Cog will guide us through. We'll keep our eyes closed.
I certainly don't mind that idea. As you go, let Ray guide us as well. I'll put my hand on Lex's shoulder and cast guidance. Concentration
There we go.
to watch minute. Up to 1 minute. Bleh.
What does guidance give me?
A roll of a
Other than
d4 on
guidance?
any
D4 on top of your save.
ability checks.
Oh, it's like a
Ability
bardic
check,
inspiration.
sorry.
Ability checks. Yes.
Ability checks only. Cool.
Okay.
So,
So what I'll do then-
Lex.
That's ability. I suppose that's ability checks. Bless his saving throws, is it?
Correct.
Yes, I think so.
May I change that to bless, then, please?
Of course you can.
Sweet. So that's bless, and that is also up to 1 minute.
So I will
So you're now
hold on
blessed.
to Cog's little legs or his head or whatever, and then Morlin will hold on to me, and then we'll both close our eyes, and Cog will lead us through the corridor. And he is under strict instruction not to look in the mirrors, and he will obey because he's a good egg. A literal good egg.
As
Roll me a
Bless is-
percentile dice, please, Lex.
Oh, fucking hell, here we go.
as bless is cast on both of us. Both of us, or yes.
64.
64. Cog follows your instructions to the letter, keeps its eye forward,
Nice.
and begins to lead you down. Morlin,
Yes.
how curious is your character?
Fuck.
That's a very interesting question. Not very intelligent, but quite wise, though. Curious. Very interested in learning anything that he's been able to find in a book. And he has been sent out on a couple of trips before. So in terms of that, mildly curious. However, is fairly, if not very wise.
Okay. Roll me a percentile die, please.
Happy for that. I'm going to use my new dice.
We're going down.
I mean, you know.
Tooloo-loo-loo-loo.
It's going down. I'm moving to move.
5,
I was
I
gonna say.
think.
5.
I think double naught and 5.
5. Okay.
That's 5.
Yeah.
There is dice gods at work here, because I basically said on a scale of like 0 to 100 of Morland being curious, based in mind, or bearing in mind that they've been out on adventures and they've been told what to do here, it'd be a very slim percentage that they'd be curious about these mirrors. So like 0 to 10, you've rolled a 5.
Yes,
So, as you begin to wander down, there is a moment then, Morland, where curiosity gets the better of you and you look left. In fact, we'll say you look right towards the mirrors on the opposite wall that Richard's been looking at. Roll me a d4, please.
A D4. Funky. In fact, I've got to use all the new dice because these are all light dice for him. Because that'll be a 3.
3. You look into this right mirror and there's a moment where you just see a horde of undead zombies begin running and crawling towards you. I need a charisma
Miracle.
saving throw, please.
9.
9. Make me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Damn, low rolls.
13.
You are instantly frightened as this horde of zombies just come crawling and scrabbling towards the mirror, and fear just instills within you, and you find yourself unable to move. Let's say I'll move Cog down to there. Oh, hey up. That was novel.
Morland will let go of Lex and will point towards the mirror and will be like, and I have been sent to here, and we'll just cast Toll the Dead.
All the dead.
Fucking hell.
Light
Okay.
shines off his staff at the top, bounces off all of the mirrors, and he's standing there, not quite his full 7-foot height, looking worse for wear.
Very good then. As you cast Toll the Dead, the mirrors reverberate that light and that sound just echoes down the hall. There is no damage, but then the illusion does just sort of fade, and you're just a bit like... A minute passes and that fear just slowly calms down within you. However, during this minute, Lex, make me a percentile roll, please. In fact, no, make me a wisdom saving throw. Fuck it.
3.
Yeah. So as this cacophony just erupts behind you, you instinctively just open your eyes and look around. Roll me d4, please.
4.
4. The floor around you just seems to look like it twists and rolls and turns. I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw, please.
I might add my guidance to this. I don't need to because that was a natural 20 for a 21.
Natural 20. As this all kicks off around you, you sort of... Your legs feel unsteady, but you hold on to yourself, and you do not fall prone.
Good.
Cog is just going to turn and just sort of... And one of the wings just... bats you across the face.
It's okay. I'm together. That was unnecessary, but thank you. Fuck's sake. Morland, are you with me?
I saw terrible things. Horrible things.
It's all just a trick. You can't react. You nearly cost us gravely there.
I'm so sorry. I did not want to look, and then I wanted to look. Please, let's try and get
It's
to
a bit
the
sunny
end.
later on. Let's just get to the other side. Come on.
Carsis, make me an Arcana check, please.
A 11.
11. You are studying this door outside, and you see the same message which talks about persistence. I'm feeling that weight, that pull. You just let a little bit of your arcane power into the door, and it opens up for you. You see a marble staircase before you which just descends down, and these two braziers burning on the wall which light up and then light the stairway down.
I shall head downstairs.
Very good. We will place you on the map. So, Richard at this point then just... Whew. Well, one foot in front of the other, I guess. Just begins to continue making their way down. We're going to get another d4 roll. 3. They look into the mirror again, just... But this time... Well, that's not real now, is it? These mirrors are tricky. I might have to try and recreate for, well, you know, my dirty dealings. Are you boys coming or not?
Absolutely. Lex, shall we attempt that again?
Yeah, how about keeping your eyes closed this time and don't do anything rash?
I hope I'm wiser to wanting to look again.
Make me a
I'll
percentile. In fact, no, make me a wisdom saving throw this time.
Oh, bloody hell. I should have done that. That'll do. 24.
This time, the wisdom does take over you, and you're just like, nope, eyes closed. Hold on. And Cog just begins to sort of gently pull your arm, not being strong enough to pull you forward, Lex, but you can feel that pull, and you just go with it and walk. And I'm going to say, based on that, the 3 of you, including Cog, make it to the other end of the corridor. And Richard also follows on through. You come to a single archway, 5 foot wide, where this corridor now narrows.
Now, I was going to say, did we see any doors? But of course, we've got our eyes closed.
So at this point, Carsis, as you descend down the stairs, you begin to hear sort of squeaks, squeals, talking. You pass that small statuettes of the Matron of Death on your right-hand side and enter into a wide corridor. There is a ruined column, which I'm indicating on the map for you, because I'm assuming you'll be looking at that. There was a ruined column there. There is this corridor to the left, which is 10 foot wide, but the noise you hear is coming from this corridor to the right, where there is an archway that is open. 3 braziers that are... what would you like to do?
As much as it would be hilarious if Cassus went the wrong way, I will follow to the right and towards the sound, sword drawn, obviously, and just ready to see what is coming my way.
Very good. So you draw Tear of Sorrow and then make your way down. I'll say as you round the corner then, who's going to set foot down this small corridor first out of the small group of 3 and 2 automatons there?
Ooh. I'm not sure. Can I just break proceedings by saying that I have just been handed a cocktail So it's clearly my birthday week. So I'm happy with that. I'll take it.
What is it?
It's a lemon drop.
Oh,
It's non-alcoholic because of terms and conditions of Twitch.
Of course it's not. Absolutely not. It's a mocktail. Totally mocktail. And so is this mocktail cosmopolitan as well. So,
you double parked. You got to see one off.
That's the rule.
That is the rule.
That's the rule.
I will see one off, but slowly. Otherwise,
Hang on. So I can be in a thong in a hot tub, but I can't have a beer.
Them the rules.
I mean, it's a horrifying thought, but yeah.
I know which one
Let's
I'd rather
not get into the nitty gritty of Twitch's terms and conditions. Right?
Morlin is going to be probably like the others, quite.
Thanks, Dave.
do. Let's let that go.
Morlin's going to be quite happy to get out of this room. So if anyone else is stalling, Morlin's going.
Okay, Morlin, you are the first one then as you descend down to see a tall tiefling figure step round in this very flamboyant outfit, purple sort of cape thrown over the shoulder and this long sword drawn and just held two-handed, single-handed?
One-handed.
Single-handed around the corner as Karsis steps round. What are you doing?
Well, hello there. Are you friend or foe?
Well, that depends on what you're doing here. Who are you?
My name is Morlin. Well, you haven't attacked yet. Are you pillaging the place?
No, I'm looking for someone. Here.
Oh.
And that weight, Karsis, that pull is directly ahead of you now.
So, sorry, your name?
Morlin,
My name's
who are you
Lex.
talking to?
Sorry, Lex, this is a person in front of me.
Who is it?
Lex, that you?
Lex, is that you?
You know each other?
Yeah, we're part of a trio of Lexes.
Oh. Nice to meet you, Lex. You're not going to hurt me, are you?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'd be nice to him. He's the most volatile of the group. I've learned to play along with his charades now.
Oh, well, very glad of the assistance.
Morlin,
Where did you
let me
come
through,
from?
Let me through.
Oh, sorry.
I'm trying to squeeze past him as he's taking up the whole corridor.
Mind that, I still need it. Oh, ow.
Squeeze.
Oh, sorry, I didn't expect that.
Richard just goes, part of a trio of Lexus? Does that mean 3 things to steal?
We're going to put a pin in that, but we're going to talk about that in a moment, you fucking weirdo. Right, and I'm going to make my way to...
He's breaking. He's cracking.
So you come down the corridor then and see your friend and ally.
Is Jewel okay? Why are you here?
She's fine. She hasn't changed yet. Nothing has changed about the situation. You were taking a long time, and you didn't. I thought you were just going to the temple, and you would then
Yeah.
hours.
So, turns out, Temple of the Everlight, they can help, but they kind of need an artifact for it to work. But the only way to get said artifact was to be led by this guy over here who was not very helpful. He's all over the place, but he's led us here. We got here eventually, but apparently in this place is something we need to bring Jewel back. But I'm glad you're here,
Right.
because I'll be honest, I was starting to lose it a little bit. I'm starting to come unstuck.
You were starting to losing it. That's curious.
Well, you spend 5 minutes with these two, and then you tell me how you feel.
Well, yeah. Let's not hang around as longer than we need.
Hang on a
So
minute. If you've come in this way to meet us round, and we've gone all the way round, We've
I just
gone-
turned right as soon as I came down the steps.
Ah,
we've
well,
gone
you see,
left and
Lex,
gone all
we
the way
turned
around.
left. Yes.
So the only place left to go is into the middle.
I thought that was what we were trying to do, but I haven't seen any doors in that way.
Did you notice another door as you came in on the right?
Did I, Matt?
Maybe a perception check, please.
Luckily, there's a big fucking greyed out bit in the middle of the map, so I know we're not finished.
There is, yeah. That is a 10.
10. You've not seen any doors. The only thing that will have stood out to you is this small little gap here.
Yeah, I just I didn't see any doors, but I just saw there's something over here. I just thought I'd come and investigate where all the noise was coming from.
Yeah, that'd be us. That corridor it nearly sent us for a loop. But any lead you've got is worth investigating.
What's Lex's passive perception?
It is
11.
11. Thanks, Matt. Too many tabs.
Casa doesn't really seem to hear what you just said. They seem a bit distracted. Like, around your... I want to say, like, chest area. But then they, like, snap back. The eyes snap back at you.
So you're
They're
looking at
like-
the tits. Right, okay.
Maybe.
It's only fair you talked to my nipples this week.
Oh, yeah.
Lex, you seem distracted. Are you sure Jula's okay?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. She is. Yeah. Let's just go down here. Maybe that's the way. Let's see what
Okay.
is around.
Are we moving on now? Or do I get to play with these mirrors some more?
Richard,
free- you can stay
absolutely
if you
not.
want.
I just grab Richard
That
and
is
pull
fine.
him in through the door.
Investigate those mirrors as much as you want. We got it from here. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Sorry, mirrors. What is this?
No, do not go in there. I know you want to look at yourself and see that peachy butt, but it's a trap. Don't do it. It's a trap.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
Oh, dear.
Stop it. You set me off. Excellent.
Okay, we
so
all
Morland
follow...
drags Richard down.
Yeah.
So Lex and Lex. then.
Yeah.
A lot of
Lex,
that's like
Lex,
going
and
through
Lex.
cover story now.
Yeah. Yeah. Cassus will take lead and head down that little alcove.
Okay. So as you sort of move into this alcove then, it's not really big enough for more than one of you at a time, but you all sort of flood around this corridor. Cassus, make me an investigation check, please.
So just before I go down, as Lex starts making my way towards me, I will just bump my fist on his shoulder. Cast Mage Armor
Nice.
through the ring.
Thank you very much.
Now, if I remember rightly, I don't think I need to put Bless on, because I'm pretty sure the blue rings were for Bless last time.
They may well have done. We're also talking... We're past a minute since I
Yeah,
did
yeah,
that,
that's fine.
so
So
they're
we'll-
gone.
We'll take the old Bless off.
Um,
Off.
oh, nice.
Oh God. You said investigation check.
Yes, please. And I will put we'll put purple around Lex for his mage armor there. Seeing as it's come from Cassis.
Bloody hell. Rolling badly, guys. 11.
11. You step forward and meet a solid wall.
All right. Well, this doesn't seem to be the way either. So, back up. Back it up. Back it up.
Oh, pardon me. Hang on. Richard, mind out. We're going back that way. Hang on.
Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. I'll just step
There's
back.
no one else. There's no one else. to
That's
go,
me,
right?
Richard. Steady.
We've come around the whole circumference. There's whole perimeter even. There's got to be a way in.
You said there's nothing down there, Lex.
He's talking
That's
to you,
me.
Lex.
Yes. Yeah.
Still haven't said your name.
Yes. I mean, I didn't say it. Just seems to be solid wall.
Oh,
Do we have to do that persistence bullshit again?
yeah, well,
Sorry for
maybe,
the foul language.
maybe you do, yes, maybe you need to try that again. It's not just dark down there, is it?
No, I can see pretty well in the dark.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's also, it's lit by this brazier here as well.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, anyone else is happy to. I'm happy to let someone else have a look.
I'll check it out. I'll investigate. Fucking, I'm a wit's end here. I'll investigate the alcove, see if I can see anything, figure anything out.
Make me an investigation check then, please.
With a +0. Brace yourself.
Guidance! I'll do guidance!
Guidance. Add a d4.
Yeah.
19 altogether.
Mullen just smacks you on the ass as you walk in.
You got this.
You are guided.
This is why
With a
I'm crap at
19.
playing cleric.
With a 19 then, Lex, between you and Cog, as you sort of survey this wall, there's a moment where you see the tiniest, and I mean the tiniest little black gemstone. So dark that it would blend almost into this stone wall very easily. What would you like to do with it?
Well, Danny wants to press the big button, but I think I've found something just here. Lex, look. Can you see that gemstone? I think there might be a way. I'm not quite sure what to do with it. Do I touch it? I don't know, but what do you think?
Touch it, pull it, twist it. Pop it.
Well, I could take some time and try to figure out what this gem actually does, if it is magical of any sort.
Yeah, I don't want it to be another trap, so anything you might be able to decipher will be useful.
Okay.
Richard, I don't suppose you've got
Lex.
anything in that notebook of yours about helping in any way for a change?
Oh, well. Get out. Well, I may have been telling some fibs about last time I got in here. I made it down as far as the stairs, and then, well, I had to go back, so I've not been much further inside the tomb than, well, where we are now.
Right. Well, feel free to go back now if you like. I think we're ready to part ways now.
Cause is like looking
I'm
at
gonna
Lex
stick
being
around,
like, what the
there's-
fuck? What the fuck just happened? Like over the past couple of hours, this is like Lex just cursed for the first time. Cause is like something is well wrong in here.
I'm still looking for that little thing I said I wanted, so if you don't mind, I'll forego my fee and just hang about.
Okay, yeah, if you want to forgo your fee, that's fine by me. Okay.
I feel like you're a little bit annoyed with me, so I'll get what I want from here, and then I'll go on my merry way and leave you to yours.
Well, for the first time today, you've been very perceptive. Thank you.
Lex, I don't want to intrude. I hope you still need my help, or should I curtail it?
Any help you can provide to Lex would be great appreciated. Thank you.
Absolutely. Lex, do you need my help?
You did this to yourselves, guys.
I fucking did as well. Started as a joke.
I don't even remember when it started.
It was in
Posh
the
restaurant.
It was
yeah,
in the
posh
restaurant.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is wonderful.
I'm looking forward to this being the running joke for the next 2 years. Yeah, I will.
It's not going to get old.
In that case, I will. Yeah, Morlan, you see me like starting to open my book, and I'm like, just look around and say, unless no, I don't. I mean, can you? Do I know any? No, I don't. I wouldn't know anything about furbolgs, not from where I'm from. So I would
Have
probably
you
look
shagged
at
one
you
before?
and say, roll a
Although,
history.
saying that, Tarsis, you have ventured around certain parts of NOF. So
That's
I'm going to say make me a nature check to see whether you've come across furbolgs before.
Yes, because we have discussed
One of
that
them might have been
Jewel
in
and
your
Cassis
analogy at
did
some
meet
point.
before.
That is
They did
that is
indeed.
that is true. That is true. That is true. Was that a nature check?
Nature check, please.
16.
16. You are well aware of furbolgs and their kind and what they are capable of.
Cool. In that case, I'll look to Morlan and say, "Your kind usually are able to be quite in tune with magic, isn't that right?"
It certainly comes easy to us all, yes.
Well, before I potentially waste time to figure out what this does, can you check if it is magical at all?
Just double checking, when I've got a use, because it's furball magic, I've clicked that one, but as it's a first level, I can still use a level to burn it as well,
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet.
Yep.
So I got one left then. Yes, I would have thought that's no problem at all. Lex, the other Lex, my Lex, that Lex, I'll take a look if you don't mind.
Yeah, please, that'd be great.
As you do, there's a small pulse from the staff, glows at the top, and then pulses down, and then again that sort of glow from the eyes from Morlan, and he will now detect magic.
Excellent. As Morlan then goes into detect magic mode, then on that gemstone there is a slight pulse of magic, and when I can sort my stream jack out.
Oh fuck me! I thought I was I thought I didn't need to go to this website anymore.
It's fine. I'm just going to tell you what it is because nobody's.
I've got it up. I got it.
Okay. In which case you would see. Yeah, I need to double check.
I mean, more than welcome to just say what it is.
Nope. You would see a glowing nimbus of white surrounding this gemstone.
Yaha.
And sort of bleeding into the wall itself.
Yeah, well, this is very protective. Yes.
Protective, you say?
Yes, magical barrier, definitely, for sure. I don't,
Kind of,
yes, I feel like if you
turned
do
off?
touch this one, it may do you some harm. I'm afraid I don't
kind
know
of
what
turned
else
off,
to
do you
do.
think?
Oh. I wonder if that's beyond my capability, as I read my sheet. I'm afraid I'm not entirely sure. I wonder if there are any writing on this door. Was there any writing on it, Lex?
Not that I could see. Only this gem.
Is the gem glowing?
It's the gem that's the concentration for the magic that you see, and it's almost like tendrils of magic are just bleeding out into the wall.
Does that mean that if we destroy the gem, we just open the door?
That's as good a theory as any. Do you think by destroying it, it'll let out a reaction and take us all out?
I mean, certain doors like this do have the ability to not only harm you, but also transport you to where you don't want to be, potentially.
Ah,
Yes, that may not... Oh, maybe it does transport you inside. That would be nice. Do you think it does that?
I bloody hope so.
Fucking doors, man.
Just the bane of our existence.
This one isn't even a
Bane
door,
of our
it's just a
existence.
Tell them, party. What do we do?
Yeah, it's just
Richard,
a
Richard,
wall with a
can you,
gem.
Okay,
Can you
Morlin
touch
is
it-
going
can you touch this for
to...
me, Richard?
Can I touch what? Sorry.
This gem.
God.
I think
By
you
all
need to
means.
open it. You're the
If
most-
you'll excuse
well,
me, Morlin, I just need to get past.
I've heard that before. Good, steady. And he moves out of the way.
Richard then steps up to where Lex and Cog are. Maybe you want to just step back just a little.
Yeah. Okay.
Morlin will, move a little bit further back.
Okay, so you all back up the corridor as Richard just thinks, well, Henry, hold on. Let's see what this does. 1, 2, 3. There's a flash, and Richard is gone.
Oh shit. Well,
I-
we've solved one problem, but we've probably created another.
Well,
As
the
you
only...
say.
Absolutely. I mean, the only problem is what I just said. There is the problem that it may be that it sent you somewhere undesirable, or it did actually send you directly into where we were hoping to go. I don't know which.
No.
Everybody make me perception checks, please.
Fantastic. That's going to go well. Whoops. That's on the floor.
Hey,
Seven.
15.
I won't take that one. I'll try it in the dice. Oh, God, that's... Perception. 9.
9. Okay.
Cannot tell me the
Carsis, you're
minus
the only
3 in
one-
perception rolled the highest.
Yeah. Carsis, you're the only one that now sort of looking and listening around, you just hear this.
Hello? Can anybody hear me? Does anybody know where I have? There's lots of shiny things in here. Oh well, I guess I just have to take them myself.
So, Lex, as I was saying, I was not entirely sure I know if that's taken him somewhere that it should or shouldn't be. But,
Yeah.
I just heard Richard, was it?
Yeah.
yes, his voice does
His
linger
voice is
sometimes,
still
a little
with me,
further than you
yeah.
would rather want.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean you heard him? Okay, yes.
He
You
guessed.
mean it does actually send him somewhere?
Guess
Okay.
we find out, and I'll go and touch the gem.
Hey, oh,
As Carsis steps forward and touches the gem, there is a bright flash, and Carsis is gone.
And immediately
Carsis.
I will follow.
Okay. So I'm going to say, let's do this first then. Woomph. Carsis, you stand next to Richard, who is currently looking around in this small room that is filled with items of value. As Lex then sort of steps and just and disappears into the room. Morlin, I'm assuming, then follows suit.
well, so he's going to go up to the door and he's like, okay, right. He's going to get his staff. He's then going to push his staff against the gem, and he's going to go. And just before he does, he's like, okay, and now send me where I need to go, with the guidance of Ray, and pushes it against the gem.
Again, you flash forward and end up shoving your staff into Richard, who stumbles on. Now, let's not be so rude. I did now find us this room, didn't I?
Thank you, Richard.
Well, I'm very glad that this
I
is not
think I'll be
the.
taking.
I'm very glad this is not the celestial plane or anywhere else. Oh, goodness me.
I think I'll be taking my pay out of what we find in here, if you don't mind. And they're just going to pocket this jade statue of a dragon and put it into a bag.
I think it's wise you take your payment from here because we hadn't actually discussed terms, and the way you were talking, it made me think that I didn't like where it was going, so feel free to fill your boots.
Oh, well, if you say so, I'll also take this, and picks up this finely crafted gold necklace with what looks like a sapphire pendant on it and puts it into a bag as well.
All right. There's a chest in this room?
There is a chest in that room.
A marvellous chest, but yes.
Is there anything else on the table? Necklace?
Yes.
Statue?
There is a set of silver candlesticks. What looks like a... When I need to describe what this looks like to you.
Have we been told what the artifact is that we need? Have we got a description of it?
No. Nope.
Fuck.
You see this silver jug type looking item on the table. There is a small golden brooch with a number of gemstones in it as well. And that's it on the table.
Treasure room and our rogue is not here.
Is there any pattern to these things? A running motif of any kind that we can discern what this was?
Are you looking at the items on the table?
Yes, and cross-referencing with what Richard just pocketed as well.
No.
Good.
If Morland's standing
Richard,
near the door, is there something similar to get back?
You
Good point.
turn around and study the door, and you do find another gemstone, yes.
Cool. Spinning back around, what else is magical in the room apart from us?
Nothing.
Richard, what is the artifact we are looking for here to help save my friend? What is it? What does it look like? We haven't discussed it, actually.
Well, I'm not sure what it looks like exactly, but this is more like, well, treasures and maybe possessions. The artifact, I'm guessing, would be buried with the king. It was very dear to him, and they used it for, well, from what I understand, they were dealing with death and, well, traversal of different worlds and existences.
I don't want to make assumptions beyond my post, you lot, but that path that Lex, one, and I took was rather large, and this room is rather small. Perhaps we're in the centre of where we were, but that would lead us to mean there is more space. And Richard, what you've just said there is more rooms to find, unfortunately, and they are stuff we need to, well, yes. Something else may be what you're looking for. Don't all speak at once. I know I'm quite the, ahead of my time on the information.
I'm trying to calculate our next move, to be honest.
Well, if the king was using the artifact to deal with sort of whatever it might be, death or passage or all that stuff, Morland, do you know who is the deity that deals with that?
I know a little. But I will come back to that. I will just point out, your friend is not dead. So, I hope that whatever we're looking for is here and is useful to us. However, if this particular king was working towards helping avoid death, would like to curtail any hopes and desires that it may or may not be the right thing. However,
Well, if we're talking about travel between worlds, that can mean here and death, I suppose, right? If you're stuck in between.
you mean that this door has taken us to a different world?
No, I mean, if the king is moving between worlds and defying death, he might have found a way to travel to where Jewel is trapped to then bring her back.
Yes, potentially to escape death, to go perpendicular in a different direction. Well, Lex, you clearly are smarter than me. I like that theory. Karsis. Not Karsis, he doesn't know that name. Lex, the other one, Lex. It was bound to happen at some point. I was going to say.
Absolutely.
Lex.
So just before you continue, I'm going to say that everyone bar Karsis, or Lex 2, sees Richard just slowly sort of just looking and pulls the brooch across the table and pockets that as well.
There is the Matron of Ravens, who is definitely the what is considered to be most in kin with death and those who travel to the other planes. She almost does actually pass them on to the other deities. But yes, it is. Sometimes you will find that sometimes those spirits don't make it to the matron, and they are the unfortunate souls that we always try to redeem. I'm sorry, I got very deep there.
It's all right. Well, anyway, we need to then find some, I don't know, symbology that might represent this matron, and
I mean, there was one at the start of the stairs.
That's true.
is that what it was?
Yeah, it was
came in.
a simple statue to the matron, but you think it means something?
If this king was fond of following those teachings, then yes, I suppose.
I think we can probably.
I wouldn't have
surmise
thought
that
of the
King
Matron
might
of
be
Ravens
able
would
to
have been
tackle.
particularly happy with someone avoiding the natural cause.
Well, I think if we're looking for an artifact, it could be anywhere in here, so we need to make sure we search every room. So.
Absolutely, I don't
Including
remember
this
seeing
room.
another room. Shall we head back in the other direction?
Well, there's
have
still
we-
this chest here.
Yeah. I mean, make sure.
So, just in terms of what else is in the room, then, you do see the chest next to the table. You also see there is a pouch nearby where this small set of candles have lit up magically again. There's a pouch. There are some, what looks like maybe gemstones or jewels on the floor. There are a few more items on the table, and then there is the chest.
I will go for the chest. I think I can open it.
Okay. As you wander over to the chest, you see that it is not locked at all. And as you open it, it
It's a
is
mimic.
littered with platinum coins.
Oh, giggity.
You find 250 platinum coins inside this small coffer.
Jesus wept and every other deity involved. Goodness gracious me.
Wow.
It's really
okay.
hard. It's really hard to pretend that Lex isn't bothered because Danny's like, I want it.
Danny is oh my god, I'm really bad that I can't remember his name. Aladdin's monkey. Abu.
Yeah, I'm
Abu.
Can
I can't do it now.
Legs.
Can Morlin go over to the gems and he
Yes.
will look at them, pick them up, and then turn to the group. I hope you don't all mind, but I'm sure you understand that the temple is not an infinite amount of coin, so in helping, I would be delighted to send this back to our temple.
I think it's
Get gemstones.
I think it's only right that you take a donation for the help you've provided.
It is
And
merely
then-
all I am looking for. This is nothing of personal gain. I shall not be keeping on hold of these.
Well,
Very
I
good.
guess in
Morlin,
that-
you then find a set of rubies, emeralds, and sapphires. So much so
Nice.
that even by your rough estimation, you figure out that's probably worth about 2,500 gold. And you also find a very, very large diamond.
That's going in the inventory.
Kirik needs that. Can you pass it to him?
Do you know what? I was bringing up our HP tracker and it brought up Kirik and I went, nope, wrong campaign.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll
Wouldn't
put
mind
that
having
to
2x
good use in
HP
the-
right now.
to good use in the community, right, Morlin? That's not going to be for personal gain, right?
No, absolutely not.
really-
In fact, this diamond is particularly useful in certain spells of bringing people back. So maybe this won't return to the temple, but if we don't need it, then it certainly shall.
Well,
So,
then in that
could
case,
you use that
I
to
see.
bring the jewel back? Is that what you're saying?
She's not really dead, like I've said before. So,
Yeah.
but yes,
right,
no, I
okay.
mean honestly, if it is of requirement, then 100% it'll get used.
I think, well, in that case, it's only fair that Richard, you seem to have like the items on the table. Morlin, you get the gemstones, and Lex and I will just get the small values of this chest.
It's absolutely fine.
Okay.
There is.
Are you sure you
still
don't
a
want some
pouch
rubies?
on the floor?
There's what, sorry?
There's still a pouch on the floor and some other items on the table. Richard seems to have been just sort of holding the stuff now, just been like, I
Cog,
think
pass me that
I'm
pouch.
good now, thank you. Cog would not be able to move that pouch.
Oh, seeing him struggle, then I'll go and help him lift it up, and I'll have a little butcher's inside. See what's
Fuck,
occurring.
it's more
You
fucking
find-
soul coins. You
You
Cool.
find
Um,
a pouch containing hundreds of coins. 500 gold coins, to be exact.
Okay.
Um,
I was going to be 500 soul coins then.
Considering I'll split these with you, Carsus. It seems that money seems the way to help us progress our mission, so I'm not really a material
I'm
guy,
sorry, who's Carson?
Well,
but-
yeah.
Oh shit.
That was going to happen as well.
Carsus is my nickname for Lex. We have nicknames for each. God damn it! His name is Lex. Okay, his name is not Lex. It's Carsus. The jig is up.
There.
Well, I must say, gentlemen, you had me fooled.
Yeah, we use it as a cover story until we
I'm very
establish.
confused
trust.
right now.
You're always confused. Go back to stealing.
It's all right, Richard. Yes, my name is actually Karsus, not Lex.
Well, Carsus, it is a pleasure to meet you.
You don't look
Pleasure
like a
to
Lex,
meet
to
you.
be honest.
I'm not sure how to take that. If it's
I
I
think that's
kind
a
of want to take it as a
compliment.
compliment, but
Yeah.
I think it was a
You look
compliment.
quite-
It's an insult to the
you
other,
look quite-
I feel.
you look quite good anyway. Let's just grab what's in here and leave.
So how much?
So
What did you give
500
me?
gold coins. So 500
I'll
gold
read
coins in the pouch.
I was talking about
250
Carsus.
platinum coins in the coffer in the chest. Gemstones worth 2,500, which Morland's picked up, as well as a diamond, which is worth 3,000 gold.
So
Three
Carsus,
on the table.
3,000?
Yeah, this is a big ass diamond.
Shit that bad boy up.
Hell.
Carsus, I gave you half of the gold, so you got 250 gold. Did you give me half of the platinum?
Yeah. I probably just shove
One,
everything
two,
in the
five.
holding, to be honest. But yeah.
125 platinum.
Platinum.
So on the table, there is still this set of silver candlesticks that are decorated with rubies and emeralds, and this silver
Happy Hanukkah.
jug. adorned with this sort of gold, and there's also gemstones inlaid in this as well. And you also see this. It's almost like a box of sorts, but there are coins in there, but they don't look gold, silver, or bronze. Copper, sorry, or platinum.
Oh no, it's Electrum.
I was going to say it's either Electrum or it's or again I just keep going back to soul coins. This is terrible.
The useless currency. Sorry. Okay. Well,
Here is something equivalent to Bitcoin.
I'll grab the box and look at these coins. Try to see what they are.
So as you look at these coins, they're very rough and ready. They're not... Even coins in today's age are not perfectly minted, so to speak, but these look like they are almost handmade to an extent. And there's probably about 10 of these coins in there. When you take them out and look at them in the light, they are probably around the size of £2 coin. Mm-hmm. What was a £2 coin? I don't even know if they still exist anymore.
Yeah, they do.
So they are fairly large for a coin, but all of the markings on them are nothing to do with the common age. You reckon these are from an age past?
Are they written in common?
No.
Being fairly intelligent, am I able to like maybe not read it, but maybe recognize the language it might be due to patterns of letter repetition and stuff?
Make me an intelligence or a history check, please. I know they're both. You can either make me a straight intelligence check, or you can use the history modifier if you
It's the
wish.
same. So let's go for it. 7.
7. Not really. It's difficult.
Cool. That's fine.
Can I have a look at them? If I recognise what crack is.
Yeah, I'll toss one to Lex.
Okay, same again for you then, Lex. Make me either a straight intelligence check or a history check.
11.
We're doing real well, guys.
That's great. Nailed it.
What's above a 10?
Well, yeah.
So just looking at your backgrounds and features.
While you guys are looking through that one, I think Morlin is going to remember that he doesn't have particularly long, 10 minutes, on Detect Magic. So he's going to say to the if you don't mind, I'm going to double check on that statue that you mentioned, just in case it has anything to do with what we're going to do. See if there's any magic. Are you all okay with this?
We'll meet you there.
Lovely. And we'll head out, just to try and catch Detect Magic.
Cool. So you touch the gemstone and appear on the other side of this stone wall. And you head back this way to where the small statuette of the Raven Queen is, which is just there. We'll come back to that in just a second.
Yes, that's fine.
So, sorry, Lex. With an 11, even with your researcher feat, or your researcher background, I'm going to say, there is an old dialect on here, which there's almost like an itch in your brain somewhere. You're like, you know, you've read something about this somewhere, but you can't remember where. You can't remember what or who or why. There's just something about these coins that is reminiscent of something you've seen in the past.
I vaguely recognise the language on here. I think if I spend some time with them, I might be able to figure out what they're worth at least, or what it says. Can we keep hold of them?
Well, I guess so. Just very conscious that every minute we don't go back to the to the ship with what we need to help Jewel. Might be a minute that we don't have, so I'll just say that we grab everything and just leave. Follow Morlin and see if we can find a way to this artifact.
Agree.
Okay. In which case, Lex, inside your bag of holding now, then you throw this box of coins. So you can say box of ancient coins if you want there. You also then pull in the silver candlesticks, this silver jug, and that is it. The room is now clear of items and treasures.
Touch the gem, meet up with Morlin.
Okay. The three of you now bamf back through into the main corridor. And before we join Morlin, I'm going to say let's take a short break, because I don't know about anybody else, but the DM needs a wee. So we're going to take a few minutes, and then we'll be back to see what this statuette of the Raven Queen, if anything, has to offer. Hey, yo.
Hello. That was fun. We were waiting for
small,
one of our party
small fuck
to
up on our side.
yeah, we were still waiting for one of our party to return, and he was always here. It just was a technical glitch, and we hadn't got a clue he was here.
Yep.
Casting
I
visibility
thought I
on
was
himself.
MIA, but I wasn't. I was there.
He was having a chat with us and getting really pissed off that we weren't responding, but we didn't fucking know. I got a clue.
Oh,
Danny now thinks we're the most ignorant fuckers.
Yeah. He thinks that as he went for a pee, we all thought, like, let's all say he's not there.
No.
Just haze him the entire time.
Oh boy.
Excellent. Right, well, with that break finished, let's quickly get back into it then. So having exited this little treasure room, you've all made your way round this small statuette of the Raven Queen, which, Morlin, as you look at it, is distinctly magical. And you will notice the green aura on it, and a little bit of a black oily residue, but mainly green.
They sound like good colours.
Yeah,
They sound like good auras.
they're always the really happy colours. They are. You see that often coming off unicorns.
Yeah.
Undead ones.
Yeah. Sorry, way too slow on that one. You all sort yourselves out in that room?
Yeah. We grabbed as much as we could.
Well,
I've got my payment for the job.
Lex, sorry, hang on a minute. Carsis, that was it. Carsis, yes, you're absolutely right. Well, I'm astonished I didn't see this before. I suppose some sort of necrotic energy out of this, being the matron of ravens and the deity of death is not really a surprise, but also it has some enchantment to it. I don't know what quite that would mean. Maybe oh, is this a statue or a fountain? Sorry, DM.
It's a small statuette, but you do notice in the bottom there is a small little half dome, if you like, upside down bowl. Yes.
I wonder if we should drink of the waters.
What? You can't be serious.
Well, it carries an enchantment. Maybe it'll reveal doors, transport us again, certain things that allow us into the tomb of the king. Excuse me.
Okay. I'm getting flashbacks of campaign 1.
That was the loudest fucking motorcycle I've ever heard outside my house in the world.
Pretty good, Dave.
That's pretty loud. Pretty loud.
Well paid.
If you think it'll work, I suppose.
Look,
Maybe it's not trying.
Oh.
Yeah, that was exciting.
Casually seeing
Four,
what's happening.
four screens. You never know what's going to open on what.
Yeah.
I'm willing to try it because I understand that if it doesn't work, you need to get back to your friend.
That's very honourable of you. Thank you.
Well,
At the same time, you're the only one that can heal any of us if things go awry. So
Oh,
does
good
it make
counterpoint.
sense?
Richard, you drink it.
Poor Richard.
What am I drinking now?
Oh
You got
gosh.
some alcohol, do you?
The matron's moonshine, by the look of it.
Oh, I'm quite partial to a bit of moonshine. Step aside, Marlin. I'm more than happy to try this alcoholic beverage.
Boy.
Does Morland step to the side?
yes. Yeah, it is.
Ooh.
Fuck you, Richard.
Okay.
You're going down.
Someone's not a lawful good cleric.
The greater good.
Richard then steps
They're
up
good.
to
Shut it.
the greater good. Henry just sort of crawls over onto the other shoulders. That doesn't smell like moonshine. Cups his hands in and then. Oh. It's a little sour. And Richard just collapses on the floor and writhes around in pain as he takes 10 points of necrotic damage.
Damn.
What?
I don't know what he had
Worth it.
before. Oh, Richard, I'm so sorry.
Richard begins to bleed from the nose, the ears, the eyes, pretty much every orifice right now. That was not very nice at all, but look over there, and points to this patch of wall.
Oh, hang on. Where are we? Yeah, okay.
Everybody make perception checks for me.
Yeah. Perception.
7.
18.
15.
Lex, Morlan, and Richard. Carsis is more sort of focused in on Richard writhing around the floor, being a bit shocked by it. But Lex, Morlan, and Richard, you would see that this patch of wall has become almost water-like. It ripples with this strange effect.
I think you did it, Richard. That the wall is shimmering, almost like a body of water. I think.
Your
Yes, I
sacrifice will be
can
remembered.
see that. Thank you.
Oh, Richard, do let me help you here. I will pick him up, and the glow comes from Morland's hands. Cast Cure Wounds for 9 points. Doesn't quite get it all back. Really.
9 points. Good stuff. That blood flow begins to subside out of Richard's nostrils and just wipes it on his hand.
I suppose we all should go rather quickly in case that enchantment stops.
What? Oh. Oh, well, yeah, that's yours.
Carsis, over there, follow us. Lex, do you see it?
Yeah, quick.
Right,
Tons of
let's
distance,
go.
Richard, come on.
Quickly. So I'll be helping Richard get through. Dragging, helping, hobbling.
Very good.
I'll
You all
take
step
point.
through then, and Carsis is going to take point. Very good.
Nice.
I'll just move some tokens around. You all step through, and as you pass through this wall, it just is literally like walking through water. Just this wall of water.
It's just funny that the wizard is like, I'll take point.
Yep.
I got
You
this.
see a room that glows blue.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
With 2 corridors off to the left and right, and a corridor straight ahead, which leads to a solid marble double door that is currently closed. As you step forward, these 4 glowing blue braziers that have just lit up, the fire begins to leak out of the sides. Lex, make me a perception check, please, with advantage. Everybody else make me perception checks, just plain, please.
Why does he have advantage?
Ooh. I'll get 14.
14.
I rolled a 14, so that's an 11.
Nice.
7.
7. Lex, you would see where this blue fire burns 4 mechanical but humanoid looking creations. The fire, this blue fire, roils around these 4 clockwork creations, and their eyes just begin to burn blue as we get 1, 2, 3, and 4. You notice this one specifically is held up in actually almost looks like some sort of apparatus was holding it in place as if it was being constructed there. As the eyes sort of light up, the fists all come up on these 4 creatures, and they all stand with the whir of cogs and the sound of mechanical machinery. And I need everybody to roll initiative, please.
Yes.
Fucking A.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Nice.
I don't roll initiative because
I will take
shit.
that.
Fuck. 14 for Calcis, sorry.
Richard got a natural 1 on the initiative. So yes, I did jinx it, chat, when I said earlier that we haven't rolled any natural ones and anything important yet. And
Lex
look who
got a
went and fucking
20.
rolled it. Me.
Lex got a 20.
So Richard's initiative is
Nice.
3. Is that 20
You never know,
total,
it's my-
Lex?
Yeah, 20 total. My cat is really doing my fucking head in. It's doing that thing where, it crawls up your legs because it wants attention, but it really fucking hurts.
Yeah, no, that all too well.
Carsis, what did you get for initiative?
14.
14.
And
And
I was
Morlan?
fucking about in the bin. Trying
18.
to tip the bin over.
18. Very good. So, in order then, that is Lex, Morlan, Carsis, and Richard. So,
No pressure.
I'm just going to clear a little bit more of this map so we can see the actual edges of the room. There you go. Cool. Lex, you are up first then, as these 4 creatures just... and the fists come up. And you can see their fists look like they are reinforced with these metal plates.
Got knuckle dusters on. Cool. I will, seeing them filled up with fire, the one to my left, you will just see, like, beads of sweat start to form on my hand almost, as the beads form into a larger ball, and then it forms a big ball of water, which then freezes, as I then lob a chromatic orb of ice at it.
Okay. Is that a save?
No, it's a hit. Hopefully.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, fucking hell. Here we go. 10.
10 is not enough, as this
Hang
orb
about.
just...
I'm going to do some meta magic shit, I think. Because I've got
you
one
Here we
now.
go.
Yeah, you are.
I've got Seeking Spell, so 2 sorcery
Go
points to re-roll it. Fucking here we go. Don't let me down, you prick. 24. That's better, isn't it?
24 does hit as you sort of throw this orb, and it looks like it's just going to glance off to the side. You just pull it back across, and it slams into the side of. You said C, yes?
Yeah. Please.
I
Roll
love-
damage then,
and this is-
please.
I love your seeking spell, chromatic orb. It's
The
so
fifth-
cool.
Yeah.
15 ice damage.
15 points of cold damage. Nice. That was fucking awesome. Very good. As this ice just shatters across, and you can see ice crystals form around the mechanics, but then just as the cogs whir and spin, the ice shatters. The creature is still looking okay-ish. Some of the metal is now bent inwards, but...
What did
anything
you roll?
else on your
24
turn?
What did I roll? What?
to hit. 24.
24. Yeah.
24, yeah. Am I actually blocking people coming into the room, or have we all successfully entered the room?
Currently, Morlan and Richard will have to spend 5 feet of movement to get past you, as well as the 5 feet that square would cost.
If that's the case, then I'll just move to the left to create a path for them to come in. And Cog isn't going
Very
to
good.
do anything at the minute.
Cool. Cool. Is that your turn then?
Yep.
Very good. Morlan then. Carsis, you're up next.
Oh, sorry. Which one have I got that wrong?
It's Morlan. Yeah, Morlan and Carsis.
Yeah, Morlan and
So
Carsis.
Morlan got an 18, Carsis got a 14.
Balls that up.
It's all good. Do you want to fix that on Carsis' turn and focus on your turn
Sure.
first?
So that's throwing me a blinder, but so he Morlan will slam his staff on the ground and yeah, so slam his staff on the ground and will cast Beacon of Hope on all of us. At 3rd level. So as he slams it on the ground, full on Gandalf, white light out the top of his staff.
Are you moving first to do this, or are you just casting it there?
Move 5 feet further forwards to start with. So move up there. And we'll say, Saren Ray, protect us from all of these. And so, Beacon of Hope out to 30 feet. But that should be
Is it 30 feet or 65 foot?
30 foot.
Sorry, it's 30 foot radius,
range
isn't it?
area.
Yeah, so that is fine.
Yeah, well, true. Any number of creatures. So during the duration, this is concentration up to 1 minute. Each target has advantage on Wisdom saving throws, Death saving throws, and regains the maximum number of hit points possible for any healing. So,
Oh my god, and you're a life cleric. That's fucking insane.
so that should hopefully help. And then we'll bonus. Because that was a spell. So it'd only be a bonus action cantrip after that, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Which I don't
So it's advantage on wisdom saves and what saves?
bear with.
Death saves.
Yeah, wisdom saves, death saves, and if I heal you because there's no one else, it will be max healing.
Nice.
Well, that will be enough because actually I didn't. I totally forgot that it would only be one spell. So, but that's good enough. And so, oh fuck it, Richard's gonna get past me. That'll be it.
Very
With
good.
this glow
Carsis.
that continues out from the top of the staff with concentration. I don't know whether you've got a thing for that, Matt.
I do have stuff for that.
Sweet.
You hit it with cold, right, Lex?
Yes.
Oh, you did ice damage, yeah. Cold damage, sorry, yeah.
Okay. Bonus action, take a Tear of Sorrow and start glowing from underneath my skin. I'll use Blade Song. So up my AC by 4.
Give you an orange circle for Blade Song.
Yeah. Increase movement by 10. Great. And then I am going to quickly move around towards C.
Mm-hmm.
And my sword starts sort of glowing with like different colors, almost like it's circling through energies. And I'm gonna stab at this creature. And first I need to see if I hit, but I am casting a spell. That is probably not gonna hit. That is a 9.
9 does not hit. As you go to stab 4, and you just catch that metallic exoskeleton, if you like, and just glance off to the side.
Is there on a hit? On a hit, yeah. Yeah. So nothing happens. I missed the attack. I wasted the spell.
Okay.
That's fine.
Anything else in your turn?
Bonus action, movement. No, that's it.
Very good. Then it is then A's turn. So 10, 15, 20. It is going to just begins to run, and it's going to use its brass onslaught attack. I'm just going to move that one up there just for the sake of it, so we've got clear. Brass
That's
onslaught attack. Sorry, it will move. Yeah, no, it'll still use that. And it's going to then sort of go and punch you, or attempt to. That is going to be an 18 to hit.
It misses.
It misses as it just runs up, and then you duck down to the side and just dodge out of the way as this fist extends out. And yeah, no, I'm going to try and punch you again. For a grand total of 16, which is also going to miss. So again, just... And you sort of slip underneath that punch as it comes out. So that's going to be A's go.
The untouchable swordsman.
Ooh, trying.
Exactly. B then is going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 to there.
Okay.
And is also going to try and use its brass onslaught maneuver, or attack, sorry. That is going to be an unnatural 20, or a dirty 20 to hit Morlin.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to take 5... 11.
Shield.
Yes.
So my AC is now 21.
Shield a concentration spell.
No, it's a
No, it's
reaction.
1 round
I was going
reaction.
to say it's a reaction, isn't it? So you, as this fist then comes, and you can see as it's running, its fist is sort of pulled back, and then, and as it goes to connect, this blinding light of a shield just spins up and.
I mean, I hate to keep going on it, but Gandalf's globe of light is absolutely
yeah.
what this is. 100%. Just doing.
Absolutely.
Which also we have a button for that.
There we go. Shield. This creature cannot hit you. Then that will be B's go.
What a great spell that is.
C is going to try and punch Karsus twice. with a 15 to miss.
Yep.
And a 10 to miss. As Karsus is still just dodging, ducking and weaving. And then D is just going to hop down 5, 10 into there.
Richard.
And then seeing Richard is just going to turn and
Just pop him
try and
on.
punch twice. So that's an 18 to hit, which is going to hit. So Richard's going to use shield.
Oh my god.
And what you see is where Henry is, Henry just crawls round onto the front of Richard, and just this mechanical shield actually full on forms in front of Richard.
Nice.
And the first
That's
hit.
some Iron. That's some
So
Iron Man
plus
bullshit.
5.
I love it.
Yeah, it is.
5. So now I've got an armor class of 20 for a round. And then D is going to try and hit again. That one is going to hit. That's going to go past the shield because that is a 22. So it just sort of ducks down and goes for the gut shot. And just catches just underneath this shield that's formed up. So that is going to be a grand total of 8 points of bludgeoning damage to Richard. And then it is Richard's go. Richard is now bloodied, I should say.
Ooh, damn.
Oh shit.
Having taken a lot of necrotic damage. And then this fist just... and you just see him sort of cough out blood.
My bad.
Richard then... Where's that? Yeah, okay. Richard just sort of presses a button on top of Henry, who's that sort of BB-8 type head is just going to roll round, and the eyes are going to go blue, and this beam of lights just... Now... That's a ranged spell attack, so that's technically going to be a disadvantage. A Ray of Frost is cast. That's a shame. That's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 to hit, sorry. Which is not going to hit. This Ray of Frost just beams out, and the creature just brings its arms together in a defensive stance. And the spell has no effect. Lex.
We're a bit above her, aren't we, really? So, seeing the two that are surrounding Morlin and Richard, feeling a bit bad that I've been causing Richard to kind of get himself in a bit of trouble, knowing Karsus will be okay, I'm going to focus on those two on the right, B and D. So, using a bit of poetic license with how I cast a spell, what I'm going to do in front of B and D, so behind, I suppose it's behind them to where Morlin is. All these cogs will start to join together, and they'll form almost this. It looks like a siren, and then it'll just go like an air raid siren, but it just gets louder and more high pitched, and louder and more high pitched until it's piercing as I cast Shatter.
Oh,
Love it.
So
Fucking
with it
love
being a
it.
I don't know which one to
Radius.
press. I'm going to do that one.
And then with a 10-foot radius, I'm going to get B and D, but avoid Richard and Morlin, obviously.
Nice.
Okay,
And that one is
so
a con 13 saving throw, please.
Oof.
they get advantage on.
Motherfuckers. Not if I use my reaction to restore balance on one of them, so make it a normal roll.
Oh, you beautiful
In
man.
which case, the first one saves with a 19,
Yep.
and the second one, at advantage,
Hang on.
gets a 16.
Just to double check, it says a creature made of inorganic material such as stone, crystal, or metal has disadvantage on the throw anyway. So would it just be normal rolls from both?
Ah, for
Yes,
Shatter.
it would. So in which case, 19
Ignore
on the
my
first
restore
one,
balance
and Yeah, so you can scratch that off. So the second one rolled 10.
So fail on one and a save on the other. Cool.
So
We're looking
D
for half
failed.
damage on one then.
Yep.
So this is, come on, be good. Right, on D&D Beyond, the digital dice are stuck on top of each other. Why would you make it do that? Okay, 9 points of thunder damage, so half, that'll be 5 for the other one.
5. So 9 points of thunder damage to D. 5 points of thunder damage to B. Very good. Hell, not looking particularly damaged at all.
And then I will move behind Carsis because it's the safest place to be.
Very good. We are then over to Morlan then.
Yes. I mean, apparently I pressed something then. That was impressive.
That was amazing. We had all sorts of shit kicking off there.
I think that was Magic Missile, and I think it was probably pressed that as I pressed the button.
Morlan casts Meteor Swarm.
Morland's panicking and just spells are firing off all over the place.
No, unfortunately,
Casts
that
Meteor
was...
Swarm and it takes no damage from it.
Ander.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just Chubby Fingers, I'm afraid, because Morlan being close to... Is it B and D next to him?
Yep, they are next to you.
So... Morlan will lift up the staff. As it does, the same radiance is emitted, but as he slams it back down on the ground and he utters a celestial word that I don't know who else would know.
I speak Celestial.
You would understand it as burn. And B and D. Yes. Just B and D will have to make a Constitution saving throw or take 2d6 radiant damage.
I get advantage on that. So, Constitution saving throw, you said?
Constitution saving throw.
13 for B.
Fails.
And 13 for D. So both of those are going to fail.
Okay, so they take
Roll me some radiant damage.
6 points of radiant damage.
6 points of
What
radiant
did you
damage.
cast?
Word of Radiance, a cantrip. And then, as a bonus action, we'll tilt the staff towards D and we'll cast a second level spiritual weapon. It will take the form of his staff and it will smack him round the head. D.
So you want to cast it there, yeah?
Yes.
Clerics are so cool.
Are you missing it somehow?
Yeah.
not the picking it every long rest. I'm presuming because
No, not that part. It's once you get into it.
yeah.
Like,
When I was
that's
like, I'm just gonna have another character. It'll be absolutely fine. I've got to pick everything. Oh my life. That is a 19 to hit.
19 to hit D will absolutely hit.
Okay, so that is a D8. I've got to find a D8. Bear with. Brain not functioning anymore. It's got to be in here somewhere. There it is. That'll do. 9 points of force damage.
9 points of force damage. So as Morland speaks this word and both B and D just begin to glow with this golden radiant light which turns to golden flames that lick across the metal, then this staff appears behind D and slams into it. D is now leaking cogs and oil, and this blue fire is beginning to just sort of show beneath that is sort of
Yes.
wisping out. As D is now bloodied, or the equivalent of. Anything else on your turn, Morlan?
Everyone else is looking okay. Did Carsus take any damage? Actually, I don't know if he did.
No, Carsis has not been hit at
Fine.
all.
Yep, no, we're
It's
all good.
just Richard.
Yep. We're all
Carsis
good.
then.
Right. I actually couldn't have cast that spell last turn because it's technically a bonus action. So
Okay.
I didn't. I would have done a normal attack. So I think I'm going to try the spell this time, but I'll do it second level
Okay.
towards A. So once again, the sword is just glowing with different colors as if something is being pulsing through it. That was completely off the tower. That will be a 21 to hit.
That will absolutely hit.
Amazing.
As this time,
So-
Carsis, having been ducking around, just picks their spot, and stabs in.
D6. I will use my Pierce of Feet to reroll that damage. Better. So it's 7 points of piercing damage.
7 points piercing to A.
But what you then all see is that after I finish the attack and I pull the sword out, there's 2 slashes that happen around A and C in the air, almost coming out of nothing. One of them is going to be a black color, and the other one's going to be an orange-red, as I'm going to cast Wispcut's Precision Blade.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So both A and C are going to take 1 point of necrotic damage and 1 point of fire damage, and I get to learn whether they are resistant, immune, or nothing to it.
Oh,
Nothing.
oh.
From both.
Both.
From either of them. Right.
Yep.
Nice.
I like that.
But they do take the damage.
Yes, they do take that damage.
So there's the first homebrew spell of the campaign.
Yeah!
Yeah.
It's neat. I think it's neat.
It's fun. It's fun.
So that was a bonus action, but it kind of works like Booming Blade, so like it's bonus action and action at the same time. So I'm going to then stay.
Cool. A then is going to try and punch you twice.
Yep, I might.
For a 10 to miss, and then a 14 to also miss.
Yep.
B is going to try and punch Morland twice. That is a 17 to hit with the first.
Shield's no longer up, so yes.
And more to hit with the second. That is a 21 to hit with the second.
That's both of them.
So you are going to take 8. Oh shit, that didn't even go down the tower. You're going to take 16 points of bludgeoning damage as these 2 fists just. So I need 2 concentration checks, Constitution saving throws, of 10 or more, basically.
Natural 20.
Nice.
And plus 12 plus, 15. There you go.
Nice.
Nice.
So those 2 fists just into you, and you are fine.
Do I not take damage?
Yeah, so it's 16 points of damage.
Sorry. So, that's
Fine.
not great.
16 points of bludgeoning damage.
That's a
No, it
lot of
hurts.
fucking damage for
That's
you.
just not good. Not looking good.
Because that puts Morland bloodied as well as these 2 fists just round the face. DC even, is going to try and punch Carsis. Misses. And 15 misses. So, C not hitting Carsis.
If you hadn't
in
have
the
called
slightest.
yourself the Untouchable Swordsman, I don't think I don't think it would be rolling like this. The fact that you have called yourself that means the dice gods mean you will never do.
Yeah.
The gods are, they're like, we have to make this real. You know, we have to have this happen.
Yeah.
It's not going too bad. Going too bad.
Cool. It is then D's go. Is going to try and punch Richard twice. That is going to be more than shield would do. So there's a 22 to hit. And the second one is going to miss. So Richard just gets his jaw spun for a second and then ducks underneath as this second fist comes to smack him. That will be a grand total of 5 points of bludgeoning damage to Richard, who is not looking good in the slightest. So, on Richard's turn, the spider bot just clamps around Richard's chest, and this light is going to begin to shine, which you actually see is a fine web around Richard, as Richard is going to cast Sanctuary on himself.
Oof, nice.
For the best, mate. It's for the best.
Yep.
That is Richard out of first level spells. Apparently I can't spell Sanctuary. Oh, fuck it, let's just do it the easy way. No, give me Richard's token. There we go. We'll call it light blue for Sanctuary. So there we go. We are then back round to the top to Lex.
So, seeing Morlan and Richard get a bit fucked up, I'm starting to get a bit of the guilt now for being a bit of a dick to Richard. I'm not going to lie. I'm evening it up. I hated him 10 minutes ago, now I feel sorry for him. Balance is restored.
Balance.
So,
We love the balance.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to form another ice ball in my hand, but as I chuck it up in the air, I'm then going to form like a spectral cog that I'll throw at it like a buzzsaw. It'll split it into two as I use Twin Spell Meta Magic to then hit both of the...
Oh my
These
god,
descriptions
Danny.
are awesome.
That's so good.
I don't have a twin spell like effect, but I'm still going to do that. Yet.
I've got too many
so
Meta Magic
good.
for Dave. You've not got enough Stream Deck buttons. What I've got going on.
I have space.
Bald.
I have space. I'm going to do it.
So that is a...
That's 21
To hit?
to hit on the first one,
I also know the sound effect is going to
Anyone's gonna hit on
say
first.
double kill.
and a 15 to hit on the second.
15 is the magic number you need.
Ooh.
Oh,
So damage
beauty.
on the first one, and that is 15 cold damage for the first one, and
Yeah, that
21
one's not looking
cold
great.
damage for the second one.
Okay, so as you hit B then with this first orb of cold, it just just cracks down. You can see icicles just sort of jut out of the body. Bits of cogs and mechanics all begin to fall off of this clockwork body, if you like. As you do it to D, this ice ball drops and shatters, and cogs just fly everywhere as you demolish that creature. So D is gone.
Victory!
That was some serious damage. Anything else on your turn, Lex? Movement? Or are you good?
Now I think I've peaked.
Morlan.
Can I just check, because we know we've experienced spiritual weapon before, is it a bonus action for it to attack? Yeah? Cool.
Yes.
So bonus action, presumably can still attack. Is that D or B? I can't read it now.
That's B, that one.
B. So it will attack B for what are we gonna? Oh, we're gonna miss as well, aren't we? For 12.
Yep, 12 was going to miss.
So I'm gonna miss for 12, but we are going to whack a first level cure wounds into Richard. So
Nice.
Morlan will lean out towards
Max, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll lean out towards Richard, grab his arm, and be like, "You need to stay with us. You're useful." And it'll be 15 points.
Nice.
Full 15.
15 points of health, which brings Richard back beyond bloodied. Are you moving more, or are you staying where you are?
Staying where I am. might be a stupid mistake.
Very good. Karsis, then.
I have something quite cool if it works, but I'm not sure it's gonna. I got my sword and I'm ready to attack A and C. I notice what is happening with Richard and Morlan, so I then just kind of press on my fingers that have the ring of spell storing on, and I will look to a point, and I think I'm going to look at the very end of the corridor, which is
Here.
no,
Or
there.
right at the top. Sorry.
Yeah, 40 feet away, which works.
Okay.
And the sword is this time going to glow with the like bluish shimmer. I'm going to slash at the air in front of me, and in the furthest point north of where I can see, there's going to be like an oval that appears, shimmering with this blue, almost like liquid gas, hard to tell. Then I'm going to look at B, and I'm going to slash at the air, like pointing towards the feet, to create essentially a portal as I cast Vortex Warp.
Oh. I don't even know what that is,
okay.
and it sounds cool.
So he needs to make a Constitution saving throw first.
Which gets advantage on it. 11 or 15.
15
Don't think that's
is
gonna
going to
do.
make it, unfortunately.
Oh,
Yeah, 15 just makes it.
that was a con saving throw, yeah?
It was a con saving throw.
I've been doing them totally wrong. That is more. That is 17.
Then yeah. Great. In that case, the shimmer is going to like travel up B, but it's not going to do anything. I tried to teleport him to the other location. Didn't want to.
Fine.
So that was from the ring, and that was also an action. I think. Let's swap an action. As a bonus action, I can do fuck all. So I will do nothing.
Technical D&D term.
Yeah, it's I do the fuck all bonus action.
There we go.
I thought that was only
A.
pertaining to clerics.
No, wizards as well.
A is going to
Wizards
try
as well.
and punch Karsis twice then. So that is a 19 with the first.
It misses.
Oh, and a 22 with the second.
It is about to hit, but I just use the pommel of the sword to just take to punch just above my shoulder. I'm gonna cast shield on that.
Nice. B then, looking shaken and rocked, is still going to try and swing for Morlan. 21 with the first.
Oh, fuck. Even with shield, that's going to hit, yeah.
And an 18 with the second.
Will hit. Does he put shield up? Yeah, he puts shield up, but it still means the first one meets. So
The first one
Yeah.
will hit.
Yeah.
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 The second one, however, then hits that shimmering light. You're going to take 4 points of bludgeoning damage. That was the lowest I could roll.
Okay.
Good thing you cast shield.
Yeah. Yeah.
Concentration check, please.
Yeah. Pass. 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
C then is going to go 5, 10 down to here. Doesn't get its brass onslaught back, but it's going to try and punch Lex twice. First one, fucking 12.
Nope. Thank you to Mage Armor.
Second one for an unnatural 20.
Cock. Yep.
6 points of bludgeoning damage as one fist just catches against and glances against the very edge of your form where this lattice-like energy forms. But then the second one sort of catches you square on and straight in the chest.
I am also blooded.
Oh my god.
With 11 hit points.
So that is C. D is dead. Richard then, sensing a moment, is going to drop Sanctuary. He's going to pull out a little crossbow. And he's going to look towards B. And fires. Because the voice has just dropped straight out of my head. Natural 1.
Oh.
Richard.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's Richard's go. Natural 1. And he just looks towards B. Well, I think I got you now. Oh, shit. That didn't go just quite as I expected. Sorry, the voice popped back into my head there, so I had to do something. Straight back around the top 2, Lex.
So, I don't want to get into a fist fight with this motherfucker, and that right hook clocked me. So I'm gonna take a leaf out of Narcissus' book, and I'm gonna cast kinetic jaunt on myself.
Blah, blah, blah.
Which means I get an extra 10 feet of movement. I don't provoke opportunity attacks, and I can move through the space of other people. So, what I'm then going to do, I'm just going to cha-cha slide. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. I'm fucking off, mate. I'm all the way over here. I'll go up here.
Where you going?
Move my little...
There you go.
Yeah,
Cool.
I couldn't decide. I had to move the map to then move myself up, so I'm going to go there, out of the way.
Excellent. So you just sort of... And I'm going to say, actually, this... In fact, you describe how this looks for me.
So, almost as if, right, little cogwheels come on my feet like roller skates, and then I just glide back.
Nice.
Cool.
And that was a bonus action.
Oh.
Nice.
Steady
So,
on.
so I don't use it very often, but now I'm far enough away, I'm going to shoot B with a crossbow. Why not?
Nice.
Get rid of him.
Maybe not, though, with the 7A.
Oh.
7
So
doesn't.
a
As
crossbow
you
bolt
also
goes
pull out the crossbow and poof. And it just sort of ting, catches on a piece of clockwork and darts off to the side. I believe that will be Lex's go. So,
It's
Morlan.
Okay, Morlan will be feeling a little bit sorry for himself, so will cast Cure Wounds on himself, 2nd level.
Which is max as well, I believe.
Which will be max, so that will be whatever 3 times 8 is, which is 24.
Jesus.
So back to 31.
Yeah, Morlan not bloodied no more.
No. So that is...
As that light from the shield that was there then just sort of absorbs inwards, and Morlan's wounds are healed.
Yes, he is. So, and then bonus action, the spiritual weapon is still next to B and will hopefully clock him one.
Rod hit, please.
So that is then going to be, I can't remember, I think there's a +7 where I added. So that is 17 to hit.
17 will absolutely hit.
Okay, D8 of 9 points of force damage.
So as this spiritual weapon, this staff, just boom, smacks against B, B shatters and explodes into a bunch of cogs and springs.
Lex, I'll get to you next. Stay clear.
Excuse me, there we go.
Steady on.
That was Lex
Chest
coughing up a
infection
bit of
coming out.
He
blood.
was, yeah. That was Lex's response right there from the DM, boys.
Yeah. It's that time of night. Sorry, folks. Good. Anything else on your turn, Molin, or is that it? You can move.
Yeah, I don't want to get any closer. Oh, hang on. Can I move my spiritual weapon or just attack? Can it move as well?
Of course you can move your spiritual weapon. It can move up to 20 feet.
Great. Can it move 5, 10, 15, 20? Yeah, underneath Carsis. So under there and next to C, please.
Okay, yes.
And
attack,
in
'cause you just
fact,
attacked
yes,
with it.
why not? So 5, 10, 15, 20. Up to Lex. Sure, why not?
Now, does Beacon of Hope move, or does it stay where it is?
Ah.
I think it moves with you.
It just says 30-foot range for 1 minute, so I suppose it stays with me.
Are you casting it on... Does it say cast on self?
No, just bestows hope
Yeah,
and vitality. Choose any number of creatures within range. So whether it's instantaneous and it just hits them all at once.
Yeah, it's that. It's not an area thing.
It's not an area
So
effect. It's just at the
Literally
time
on
of
you.
casting, then it's done.
I usually got confused as well
Right.
because
That's fine. I'll leave that there then, so anybody within that range...
Yeah,
Or in fact, it doesn't matter where they move now,
no,
does
because
it?
it now
Yeah,
hit all
even-
of us, and it's now
Yeah.
as long as I hold concentration for the next minute, we're good.
yeah, that's
Very
basically
good.
it.
I'll delete
I'm
that then,
also
'cause that
concentrating
clutters.
on kinetic joint, by the way.
That's
Jaunt.
fine.
Oh, nice.
Kinetic joint would be something totally different.
Kinetic joint.
I'm very relaxed. And also got the munchies.
There we go then. Carsis.
I'll give a quick look, seeing that Lex has left danger, and I'll just nod. Use bonus action to summon Shadowblade. Yeah, bonus action to grab the shadow of my sword, cast Shadowblade. Then I'll use my action to attack. Ooh, can I attack with Shadowblade on the same turn as I summon it?
Would have thought so.
Yes, because it is a bonus action spell. Amazing, so I will attack with it.
You
Please.
get your two-weapon fighting, right?
No,
sorry,
just
ignore me.
using normal. So that
Yeah, just
is
attacking with
a.
that.
It counts as a weapon. I'm rolling real bad. So that's a 13 to hit.
13 does not hit.
Yeah. I am concentrating on Shadowblade now, but that is my turn.
Very good. It is then A's turn. It's going to try and punch you twice. 10 to miss. And a 16 to also miss. C is going to try and punch you twice as well. Miss with the first. And miss with the second.
Dodge, 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 dodge.
Richard is going to then step up to here then, and is going to turn. Let's see if we can get this right now. And just aims that crossbow again and pulls it. I believe that is the magic number of... Where are we? Oh no, it's got a +7 on it, so that is a 20-something. 21 to hit, which is definitely going to hit. So that's going to be a grand total of 12 points of piercing damage against C, which is very much enough to bloody C. C is not looking good in the slightest.
Good. Good, good, good.
Whoop. Let's not spin the whole thing. And then you're just going to hear Richard shout, "Try not to destroy too many. I would like to investigate these afterwards." And then Lex, you'll go.
Morlin's not quite the right to wait. Too fucking late. No.
Not the time or the place. Right. I will. What will I do? I will lob another chromatic orb like a grenade at sea to try and finish it off.
Oh, beautiful.
Absolutely spunking me spells here. With a 22 to hit.
Yeah, you beauty.
Absolutely.
With 19 cold damage. See ya.
This thing had 5 hit points left as this bomb, literal ice bomb, just the ice lands in, shatters, and again cogs, springs, these bits of blue fire just everywhere, and C's gone. Anything else in your turn, Lex?
You okay over there, Cassis? That'll be me.
It's all good.
Morland.
Cure wounds on Lex. So that'll be the full 24.
Oh, you
Nice.
fucking hero.
That's like max health for Lex.
I am back up to full strength.
There we go.
What's in my tits off? Have some of that.
Lex, we need you in this. You need to bring back Jewel. And they just this immense glow from the staff, and it's just when that brightness comes back, you're just good as new.
Good stuff.
5-10 feet of movement on the spiritual weapon. I so didn't just grab the wrong video feed then, and
That's all good.
that will be next to A and a spiritual weapon.
Roll to hit.
Oh, cock and balls.
I'm not sure a life cleric would say that, but
Damn and blast. So that is what is that? 11 to hit?
11 does not hit.
No.
This spiritual staff just swings, and A just lifts up one arm, defends against it. Cassis. Unless you wish to move, Morla.
No.
I will attack with Tear of Sorrow first.
Nice.
Fuck me. 9 to hit.
9 does not hit.
I will attack with Shadowblade next. Hey, 19 to hit.
19 will hit.
That's 2d8 psychic. 9 points of psychic damage, please.
9 points of psychic damage. Enough to bloody A.
Good.
It is A's turn then, if you're not moving or doing anything else.
No, actually, he's very focused on me, but just in case, I will just
Throw me dice.
Yeah, I'll just pop in there as I just say to
Okay.
A, one more round.
Go to punch twice. For a 23 to hit with the first.
Redirect that with shield.
And the second one is therefore going to miss with an 18.
Oof, they're getting close.
Yeah.
But still, no
And
cigar.
then Richard did get healed, didn't he? It's just not updated in the encounter builder.
He did, yeah.
Richard then is just going to point the crossbow again. I would like to investigate this one, boys. If we can just not destroy it. Come on, natural 20. Almost. It's a 22 to hit.
Nice.
Shit damage, though. A grand total of 6 points of damage, the lowest I could roll. Lex. Just move Richard 5, 10, 15, 20.
Oh, do I listen to
25,
Richard?
30,
It was I don't trust his means. Does it make
to you,
logical
my
sense
friend.
Does it make logical sense to keep this creature alive? No, I'm going to kill it.
He didn't say alive, he just said don't destroy it.
Oh, right, okay. So, okay, then, so what I'll do... no. I was going to say, what I'll do, I'll just do Acid Splash then and melt it. No, I won't. I will do... Oh, how am I going to not kill it? Crossbow's the only way not to kill it, isn't it?
You can't say non-lethal.
No.
Well, no. I think the aim is to kill it, but not destroy the body, basically.
Okay.
Dissuade
I will
it
do
from
what-
attacking us in the future.
I'll just do suggestion and say, turn off.
Piss off. Yeah.
Power off.
Yeah. Power down.
Windows
I will do
update.
I will do one last chromatic orb.
Nice.
Oh man, you're just getting rid of those.
I've spunked them all now. And then,
Yeah, you really have.
and then what I'll do, instead of lobbing it at it to kill it, I'll kind of bowl it at
Bowl
its
him.
feet.
Underarm.
It's gonna like
With-
stop underneath A and just explode upwards.
I got a natural 20. A 25. I'm trying not to destroy it, and I got a natural 20.
There you go, then.
Sorry.
Roll damage, please.
There it is.
So, I would like to think that now I've rolled a natural 20, as I've bowled it, it's like a snowball and it's just built and it's got bigger and bigger.
My
So now
God.
it's like a big ice boulder. Because that is 32 points of cold damage.
So these things have 32 hit points in total. So what I'm going to say is,
Holy
as you bowl
damn.
this, you see the bluish fire that's burning in the room just sort of and wraps itself around this chromatic orb, turning to ice as it does, and the ball does get bigger and bigger, and eventually it sort of just boom, bounces up and absorbs into A, and then explodes out in a shower of shit. An absolute shower of metal and cogs and everything everywhere as A's body is
Out of all
obliterated.
four, the other three look better than this one.
Yeah, 100%. There's still bits that Richard can probably work with. A is just nothing now. But we are out of combat as that blue fire
my
now
own
just
strength.
wisps away. So the only thing now left in these rooms are these 4 blue burning braziers. Floor based. I know we've had our differences, Lex, but I did ask you to leave one intact for me.
I'll be honest, I didn't mean to destroy it that much. I must have just put more into that spell than I was hoping for. I'm sorry, it wasn't intentional. This
Well,
part,
if it's
though,
that
you can
or
take
being
some parts
dead,
out.
I think I'll choose the cogs everywhere rather than being
Yeah.
a mush on the floor.
I'm sorry I got frustrated with you before. I was, as you can, is it times of the essence, and yeah.
I'm not the easiest to get along with. I understand. Don't worry yourself.
How is everybody feeling? I would be delighted to help anyone who's feeling not as worse for wear.
I feel much better.
You've
thanks
already
to you,
sorted
Nolan.
me
I don't
out,
know-
Moreland. I'm fine and
yeah.
dandy.
Carsis, you seem to blur between the blades. I've never seen something like this before.
Blade Song and Shadow Blade go off as I turn around and say, well, yes, that is sort of my thing. I'm usually not hit in combat. So, yeah. And my dedication
He's
is to...
not called the untouchable swordsman for nothing, you know.
Well, yes. I mean that.
Hey,
That seems to portray your abilities quite remarkably. Well played.
Thank you. And thank you for helping, well, all of us really, but
yeah,
Lex and Richard and healing everyone. That is
you
impressive. That is something I cannot do. So
you've proved your worth today, Marlon.
I have to admit I can't help that much more, but this seems to be a formidable room. I hope we all make the rest of the temple.
yes. Quickly looking around the corridors, poking around. Do we see anything?
Okay, so I think
Real quick.
if you're poking around the corridors, as you sort of meander your way around, you would realise that this corridor leads to a door there. This corridor leads to a wall. And then you've got this main door here. To the north. And I need
this
everybody to
marble-
make me an Arcana check, please.
Of course.
Totally missed my dice tray.
We'll start rolling low again as soon as you're out of combat. Straight in with a 9.
19.
Yeah,
19. 18. And let's do Richard as well, just for the sake of it. Arcana of 13. So I'm going to say Morlun and Karsis. Towards this northern door, there is a pull on your being. It's not quite on your body, but you almost feel like a weight within you. There is something, not sapping, but just causing this feeling of heaviness to the north.
A magnet on the heart.
Something like that. And that right there, folks, is where we are going to leave it for this week. We are a little bit over time, and I'm liable to have another coughing fit in just a second. So luckily we only had one there, which is good. But thank you all for joining us once again tonight. We are very, very, very happy to be back and very glad to be back. And it's great to go through this dungeon with you all. So thank you all for joining with us. Thank you all for bearing with us last week. And we look forward to seeing you again next week. Please stick around, as I think we are going to raid. If you wish to guide the raid, then please really use your Wrath Strike nuggets or etc. to do so. But yes, if you enjoy the show, then please go spread the word. Please go support us on YouTube, podcast, all of those other things. Don't forget to check the socials. I will post a new Campaign 1 homebrew in the Discord channel tomorrow, so make sure you have joined that so you can go and check them out and obviously use them where you see fit or where you wish with your DM's permissions, or if you are the DM with your own permissions to go play with your let your players play with, as I forget how to speak. Cool, I think that's going to be me for this evening. So we have been the Malt Magic crew. This has been episode 13 of Campaign 2. Thank you all once again. We love you all. Stay safe. We will see you same time, same place next week. Have a great Easter for everybody that celebrates Easter. Dave, have a great birthday, buddy. And we will see you all next week.